As we were throwing out the trash, something caught our attention. A trash bag was moving slightly. My husband carefully approached and removed the bag from the floor. When we opened it, we discovered that inside was an abandoned puppy. The scene broke our hearts. He was tied up and huddled together, his eyes showing deep fear and distrust. He looked fragile and defenseless, with a lost look in his eyes, trying to understand what was happening. At first, we noticed that one of his legs was curled up, which made us think that it might be broken, and that perhaps that was why he had been abandoned. But, to our surprise, the little dog started to run clumsily, showing that, although hurt, he still had some strength. Moved, we decided to improvise a cardboard box to take him in and help him calm down. However, human proximity scared him, and he remained alert, retreating with a look that showed how much he had suffered with people. Even so, the little dog displayed a tenderness that immediately captivated us. Between the distrust and fear, there was a sweetness, as if he were asking for help, but not sure if he could trust us. His fur was filthy and full of knots, a clear reminder of abandonment. My patient husband began to carefully remove the dirt, while he finally began to relax little by little, almost as if he had hoped that this time, everything would be different. We took him to a pet store for a bath and a complete grooming. During the bath, he seemed to understand that he was being cared for and, without resisting, allowed us to wash every inch of his thin body. We also bought him treats, hoping that he would finally be able to enjoy some joy in his life. He snuggled into my arms right after the bath, and that was when I felt a trust slowly emerging, a sign that perhaps he was beginning to believe that we would not abandon him. We decided to buy him a comfortable little house, which we lined with soft blankets. When he saw her, he approached cautiously, and after a few seconds, he went inside, snuggling up as if that little house were a real home. In a touching moment, I saw his eyes fill with tears, as if he was finally realizing that this was a safe place. That look touched my heart deeply. I decided to give him a special name, calling him Fudai, something that carried the meaning of luck and hope for him. In the following days, Fudai began to show signs of trust. He watched me closely, as if he feared that I would disappear at any moment. When I sat down, he would quickly approach and nestle next to me, seeking warmth and security. His caution and sweetness transformed each day into a new step of discovery and joy for us. Soon, he began to follow me around the house, increasingly curious and playful. I could see in him a desire to get closer, even though he was still cautious, but with a desire to overcome the trauma. We decided to teach him some simple commands, using treats to encourage him, and he learned quickly, with the obvious happiness of someone who is experiencing human affection for the first time. His energy and mischief became constant, and it was impossible not to smile when watching him play, especially with the first toy ball we bought for him. Every meal was a celebration for him. We mixed dried meat into his food to help him regain weight, and he devoured every bite, his body finally receiving the nourishment and care it needed. Little by little, he began to gain weight, and that fragile little dog began to become more robust and healthy. We could see his transformation day by day, becoming a more confident and happy animal. When the weather was nice, we took the opportunity to give him peaceful baths in the backyard. He was an example of good behavior. He would lie down, motionless, with an expression that showed how much he was enjoying the moment. He would become so relaxed that he would almost fall asleep, his eyes slowly closing as I petted him. Some people commented that he looked like a Xuanchuan, a common mongrel, and perhaps he was not a specific breed, but for us, that didn't matter. He was already part of the family. Fudai had earned his place in our hearts, and caring for him became a natural extension of our daily lives, almost like caring for a child. On his first birthday with us, we decided to have a special celebration. We made him a cupcake without cream, knowing that he couldn't eat certain ingredients. He looked at the cake with a gleam of desire in his eyes and, when I was distracted, managed to take a quick bite. His expression of victory, after tasting the first piece of cake of his life, was captivating. Fudai had found a home where he was loved and where he knew he would not be abandoned. Today, he is a puppy full of joy, trust, and affection. When he relaxes in the living room, watching TV next to us, he sometimes glances over to make sure we are still around. And now, every time we leave and come back, he knows that this is his home, his safe haven. Thank you, Fudai, for coming into our lives and bringing us so much joy. May you continue to grow and live with all the love and affection you deserve.